Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
I don't see that fight getting out of the first round. Right. I think Tom is phenomenal. I think he's absolutely the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the UFC. I said to him, it sucks to win the belt that way, to be the champion this way, that no one's going to remember that in 3 fights time. They're just going to remember what you've done and that you are the champion of the world and you're the best in the division, and that's it.
The wait is over. Tom Aspinall is finally back in the octagon after months of being kept out of action by repeated delays and setbacks. The fans have waited long enough, and now he gets set to take on Ciryl Gane in what looks to be a thrilling heavyweight showdown. Tom recently opened up about his training camp, talking about his unconventional sparring rotations, and how he has been owning each weapon for the comeback.
Your training is like ridiculous all the time, right?
The way that I like to do it is I got 5 training partners. I'm fighting a 5-round fight. I'll stay in the middle and I'll spar with a different sparring partner. 1 round each, yeah. That is the because you want to prepare for the worst. I'm training to fight the second best fight in the world for potentially 25 minutes.
Notwithstanding all the hype around the fight, Tom made it clear that he doesn't feel any pressure. He assuredly stated that when people doubt him, he performs best. The media may attempt to spin things or build up tension, but Aspinall does not care. His sights are always set on Ciryl Gane and showing the world that he's still the deal.
That's great, because I fight really, really, really well under pressure. You know, there's a couple of types of guys. I've been around martial arts for my whole life, near enough at this point. And, you know, there's the guys who I've trained with, from my experience, who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters. And they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up, and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself who are not that good in the gym, but get under the lights, get under the pressure with all the chips on the table, and they get in there and do things that they would never be able to do in the gym. And that is exactly what I do, and I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths. So
Chael Sonnen recently spoke in this fight with a unique perspective. He remained impartial but stated that if Aspinall dominates Gane overwhelmingly, it may change the UFC's plans for the heavyweight division. Sonnen broke down that a comfortable victory for Tom may set back the eagerly anticipated Pereira vs. Jones fight to lose its super fight status, making it more of a #1 contender's bout.
If Tom were to win, your ability to have Pereira and Jones in the bracket but not matched up becomes a little bit more difficult of a story to tell. And you would likely default to the lowest hanging fruit, which is, this is a #1 contenders match. That way you're involving your heavyweight champion. You're not pushing aside your champion. And by the way, if Tom lights Ciryl up in the first round, he's likely to do it on his feet. If you knock out Ciryl Gane, which Francis Ngannou couldn't even knock him down, the myth of Tom, which is starting to grow, it's going to be different. It's going to be this beautiful thing.
As much as the UFC is keenly interested in keeping the heavyweight division rolling, this bout will proceed as scheduled. Johnny Walker was one of the early fighters to indicate his support for Tom, confidently anticipating the victory of Aspinall. Walker explained that Tom's explosive power, speed, and fight IQ make him a nightmare to face for anyone, even Gane. He added that a conclusive victory will cement Tom's position as one of the greatest heavyweights in UFC history and build up for even bigger fights in the future.
Yeah, I believe Tom Aspinall, he had to fight, bro. He was waiting for John for so long, you know, and that would be a really good run back for him. And I believe he's gonna fight. He's as well one of a kind, you know. He's big, have speed, Tom Aspinall, and of course, Gane have speed as well and big. But I believe Aspinall is more complete and a little bit better than him. And he don't spend much time on the octagon, so I believe it's going to be a quick finish as well.
Meanwhile, Blaydes commented on the title fight, showing respect for the opponents while siding with the champion. According to Blaydes, Aspinall's speed, movement, and technical awareness set him apart from everyone else in the division. He also noted that Ciryl Gane possesses elite striking, but Aspinall's adaptability and all-around nature put him in a clear advantage. Curtis feels Tom will successfully defend his belt and make an enormous statement to fans and pundits alike from around the globe.
I believe that Aspinall does have the advantage, though, in that the grappling department. I believe that whenever he wants to, he'll be able to put Ciryl on his back, and he may not have to, but I believe he can if he does have to, and I believe that'll be the difference if he gets out of the first round. I'll go with Aspinall.
Former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman was not shy with his opinion as well. He boldly chose Aspinall to emerge victorious and stated he anticipates a one-sided performance. In the view of Usman, Aspinall possesses the ideal mixture of fight IQ, composure, and athleticism. He went on to say that Tom was as disciplined, fast, and improving as he was at his best. For Kamaru, this bout isn't merely about retaining a title, it's about demonstrating that Aspinall indeed belongs to the heavyweight division's list of all-time greats.
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Garry also had his opinion on the bout, commenting on how Aspinall's championship journey began under difficult conditions. He conceded that there are still those who question Tom due to the manner in which he ascended to the top, but Garry explained that this fight presents him with the opportunity to shut everyone up. Ian further added that a victory over Gane would entirely wipe out any doubts regarding Aspinall's legitimacy.
I don't see that fight getting out of the first round. Right. I think Tom is phenomenal. I think he's absolutely the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the UFC. I said to him, it sucks to win the belt that way, to be the champion this way, that no one's going to remember that in 3 fights time. They're just going to remember what you've done and that you are the champion of the world and you're the best in the division, and that's it.
With the hype for Aspinall versus Gane escalating, another tale has been heating up. The possible bout between Alex Pereira and Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat indicated he's eager for that battle, openly challenging Pereira on several occasions. He said the fans deserve to see what happens when his relentless wrestling pressure meets Pereira's striking power. The matchup instantly caught fire online, and discussions exploded about whether Khamzat could handle Pereira's knockout ability, or if Poatan would silence him with one clean shot.
You know, it's crazy that you mentioned Alex then, because somebody was talking to me and said, who do you think that is out there that could beat Alex? And I said, you know what, call me crazy. I said, but Khamzat at 205. Yeah. I think you have the style. Is that something you think about? Or like maybe one day?
Of course, I've been always open for that. So I know stylistically this match for me much easier than other guys, you know. So but in striking, I'm honest. I know the guy can knock me out, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone. I know the guy is a good striker, one of the best guy who has hardest punches. But I'm one of the best grappler, best wrestler.
Yeah.
He's not that.
Sure.
So
it'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, of course.
However, Pereira quickly dismissed the idea. He explained that a fight with John Jones makes more sense for his career. Pereira told him he's not pursuing shoot callouts, he's pursuing legacy. To him, the Jones fight is the ultimate test, and he doesn't see Chimaev in his sights at the moment, and still, supporters aren't losing hope, thinking the UFC can perhaps persuade Poatan into a showdown with Khamzat in an epic war of styles.
I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called you out and said that congratulations, but now you guys need to finish your business. Are you aware of what business that is, and are you interested in him moving up to fight you at this stage?
O campeão peso médio te desafiou, Khamzat Chimaev, falou parabéns, mas vocês têm negócio a resolver. Que negócios são esses e te interessa?
Obrigado pelos parabéns, mas eu quero uma super luta, igual eu falei, quero lutar nos pesos pesados. Então, só agradeço só pelos parabéns.
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you.
Khamzat, however, won't back down. Even after Pereira's remarks, he dug in and called again for the bout. He stated, Pereira can't keep hiding in that fans want to know who is really the most dangerous man in the UFC. Chimaev's bravado is unparalleled. He feels his grappling and pressure could overwhelm Pereira. Khamzat isn't being idle talk for the sake of attention. He's actually starved to show that he can annihilate whoever the UFC puts in his way.
Если спросить меня, мне, конечно, хочется за второй пояс подраться.
Для меня, ну, никому не секрет, тот парень, который сейчас 93, если стойки с ним не заигрываться, для меня очень удобный соперник. Да, все говорят, он слишком мощный парень, но где-то в мощи я нигде не уступал никому, поэтому я думаю, он тоже 84 выступал и перешел в 93. Хотелось бы 93 подраться, а так там Насруддина дадут, или Деридера дадут, или Эрнандеса. Мне особой такой разницы нет, чтобы самое главное заплатили хорошо.
Chael Sonnen was among the earliest analysts to support this fight openly. He opined that Pereira versus Chimaev is what the UFC needs at this moment, something new and unexpected. Sonnen stated that this fight would create actual buzz and see the company usher into a new era after Jon Jones finally retires.
And we understand that Pereira is going to get into the ring over 230. Can you pressure, take down, rinse and repeat somebody like Pereira for 25 minutes? That's a lot to get somebody to accept. That's a very hard thing to get somebody to accept. So I love the idea. I love the idea that those guys want to fight with each other.
Dricus du Plessis also chimed in, forecasting that if the fight actually goes through, Pereira would emerge the winner. He explained that Poatan's striking precision, size, and ability to stay calm under pressure make him extremely dangerous, even against elite wrestlers like Chimaev. DDP said Pereira's composure and chaos is what separates him from most fighters. He also mentioned that if Pereira can survive the early takedowns, he'd likely finish Khamzat in the later rounds with his devastating power shots.
Khamzat, there's no way he beats Pereira, in my opinion. I think Pereira right now is one of the greatest to ever do this sport, or any combat sport for that matter. But yeah, he's a big guy. Even now at light heavyweight, he looks so big against Undeliable. It's crazy. I don't think there's any realistic chance of that.
Daniel Dariush, however, disagreed completely. He said Khamzat's wrestling dominance approach is Pereira's biggest liability. Daniel explained that once Chimaev gets his hands on someone, it's really hard to get out. He added that Pereira has had issues in grappling fights before, and Khamzat's pressure may reveal that again. Dariush's analysis ignited enormous controversy on the internet, with fans divided between those who believe Chimaev would overwhelm on the ground and those who expect Pereira's strike work to tip the scale.
I don't want him to get mauled by Khamzat.
Khamzat called out Pereira. Would you like to see that fight happen?
For Pereira, no, I'd like to see him go fight a big fight like the Jon Jones fight. Or I feel like he's 38, he's maybe considering retiring. I don't want him to get mauled by Khamzat. I'm just being honest.
So does that mean you would favor Khamzat in that fight against Pereira?
Absolutely.
Michael Bisping also weighed in but took a decidedly different approach. He maintained that the bout should not be taking place at all currently because Chimaev has unfinished business in his own division. Bisping indicated Khamzat must sweep his division first before diving into the risky fight against Pereira. He also cautioned fans that Poatan has already beaten and fought some of the top contenders, so there is no rush on this possible matchup until both fighters have completely cleared their lineups.
But for Khamzat Chimaev, there's people there, for sure. There's Nasruddin Imavov, who got a great win in Paris. He beat Caio Borralho. Great fight because the man can wrestle as well. And then this weekend, you got Renier Derrida taking on Brendan Allen. Now, that's going to be a great fight. And Renier Derrida is unbelievable. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He stopped Bob Nickel with that knee. He beat Robert Whittaker, kind of like.
Brendan Allen concluded the debate, agreeing with Chael Sonnen's point. He added that although the Pereira vs. Chimaev notion is thrilling, it is far-fetched to come to fruition anytime soon. In Brendan's opinion, Khamzat is yet to regain momentum, and Pereira's sights are set on the Jon Jones super fight. But when it does finally go down, it'll be among the largest bouts the UFC has ever had.
Story of Chimaev, right? Like, he just talks a lot, he gets a lot of eyes, like, it's not to the degree, but it's like Conor talking just to stay relative. Obviously, like, Chimaev's not that bad, right? He doesn't say that much stuff and that much reckless stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think he's got a lot of work to do in our division first, and it's not like he's a huge 85er that's cutting a lot like Alex was to get to 85 to where it's like, all right, I became a champion, I defended once, like, let's just go up or whatever. So yeah, it's weird, but I don't think that's in his future right now.
If you enjoy these in-depth breakdowns and fight updates, be sure to tap that subscribe button because things are only going to get wackier from here.